guess. So I'm not going to start by asking who's had a bad haircut, because we've all probably had a bad haircut. But hopefully I'm going to give you some tips on not only how to survive a bad haircut, but maybe not get one in the first place. So one of the things you have to keep in mind is that there's very few that have this perfectly symmetrical face. There's a guy at work, his face is perfectly symmetrical, and his haircut always looks perfect, as if someone just put a bowl over his head and they cut it. It's like very easy to do. But the fact is, I myself, my face is long and narrow, my eyes are narrow, maybe your ears stick out, maybe your forehead is too big, and the fact is, you know what looks good on you and what doesn't. And I remember when I was younger, I was out of control as far as getting a haircut. Some of the things I would do, I would get my haircut, and I knew what looked good. I knew what looked good, and I knew what didn't. I would get a haircut, spend good money, come home, I didn't like it. 2 days later, either go back to that person or go somewhere else and spend another $50. Sometimes I would come home and actually try and fix it myself. And it was kind of a neurotic thing, but it just seemed to me there had to be a better way. So finally, after spending a lot of money and just messing up my hair and kind of driving myself crazy with this whole experience of hair, I started to learn a few things. And I'm going to share you some of my tips. One of the things you need to try and do is to not expect that your hair is going to be perfect. So what you don't want to do is you don't want to run around to different barbers or beauticians every time trying to find that perfect person to cut your hair. So you want to find someone that's competent, and then not create a dialogue, but just find someone that's competent and lower your expectations. And also, whenever you get a haircut, another pointer is whenever you get a haircut, Ken, I'm looking at you especially. Whenever he's rolling his eyes like, what's in it for me? But whenever you get a haircut, one of the key things to do is, once the haircut is done and the girl or guy asks you, how is it? Is it too high, too short, this, that? Never fix it. Just after the haircut is done, even if it's not just the way you like it, leave it alone. Because what you do, even if the girl or guy is going to take a little bit more off here or off the top, the fact is it's going to look uneven. And besides, you may get home, look at it, and say, hey, it's not too bad. So that's what you want to do. You don't want to mess with it. Another thing you don't want to do, so another thing you do, like I said, you don't want to go home and try and fix it. You don't want to use different barbers. And you always have to keep in mind that your hair is not that important. There's other things. If you want to wait a month and get it cut, that's about the best you can do. But always keep in mind the back of your head, no matter how bad it is, there's worse things in life. When I've gotten a bad haircut myself, sometimes I look at the news, like, this haircut is so-so, but I was just reading in the paper this weekend, there were 14 suicide bombings in Iraq. You know, the fact is, hair is not the most important thing. So hopefully I've given you a few tips on how to survive a bad haircut and hopefully not get a bad